Good morning students, a very hearty welcome to GC Tech Hub CS tutorials. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about some string functions, that is some stripping functions, lstrip, rstrip and strip function, and we will also be studying about we'll be discussing one string based program also. So let's move on to our today's class. As you can see, this is what we are going to do today. Lstrip function, rstrip function, strip function, and a string program. Now, what are these three functions? These three functions are used for stripping a string of some substring. So if you want to remove a substring from an already existing string, you can use these strip functions. Normally, this is the syntax how we have to use these functions. For example, you have a string, so you have a string object dot lstrip, and chars is an optional argument, that is it could be a group of characters. That means it can be a substring consisting of one or more characters. So if you are not providing any arguments, if no arguments are provided, it will only strip the string of spaces, that is it will only remove spaces from the string. Basically, string stripping means to remove. So any strip function will only remove some characters from the string. If no arguments are provided, only spaces will be removed. And if argument is provided in the form of a substring, then any suitable combination of that substring will be removed. So basically this substring part works for this one, that is we'll be talking about lstrip, rstrip and strip. So we can remove anything, any character or spaces from the string by using these three functions. So in these three functions we will see how they work. So for example, if I am using a string, I have a string here named a string, and the string is technology. So I just write here, the first thing is if I want to remove spaces. So right now you can see there are no spaces in the string. So I will add some spaces to this string. That will be in this form. So this, you can see there are some leading spaces also. And some trailing spaces also. So we have spaces in the beginning of the string as well as at the end of the string. So what we can do is we can call this function. We will write a string dot lstrip, and if we simply write lstrip without any arguments, it will remove the spaces which are towards the left edge of the string. That is, this is the left side, so we have the spaces here at the left edge, and here we have spaces at the right edge. So how will it be? It would be like this. So you can see that the spaces from the left side of the string has been removed, and spaces are still there in the trailing portion, that is towards the right side. So if you are using rstrip function on this string, that is if you just replace it by rstrip, so now this will strip the string of spaces from the right side. So your string will now be, remember we are working on this original A string, and this is a value which is being returned. No change takes place on the original string. So we will just see that. So it doesn't make any changes to the original string. So let's just see the example over here. So you can see I have this Python idle. So now I'm just going to type a string here, A string, and I am just typing here technology. You might have observed that I have provided some spaces before the string and some spaces after the string. So now if I just type here a string dot l strip, simple L strip without any arguments, you can see that the spaces from the left side of the string are gone. But if you print the original string, it remains as it is. That means if you want a better version of the string without the spaces, you can just take another string str1 and you can type it like this. So what will happen? The stripped string, the change string will be assigned to str1. So you can see str1 is this and a string is this. So there is no change in the original string, but the new string which was there, it has the stripped string. Same way, if I write a string dot r strip, it will remove the spaces from the right end of the string. And if I write a string dot strip, it will remove the spaces from both the sides of the string. So this is the simplest version of the strip function. All the three kinds of strip functions which are used basically to remove spaces from the to remove leading and trailing spaces from the string. Now the second version of these functions is using a substring, that is a character. For example, you have a string, a string, and that is what there. So now if you write here, like if I write a string dot l strip, and I'm just providing this substring here, for example th, so it will remove all the combinations of th. What are the various combinations of th? We have th, we have ht, okay, single h, single t. So this th shall be removed. Similarly, if we have a string as technology and we write a string dot l strip te. Okay, so we have written l strip dot te. So all the occurrences, all the combinations like te, et, small e, capital T, they all will be stripped from the left side. Let us try this out and we will be coming across a lot many such trade-offs also. Like now I am just taking a string as technology. As you can see, a string dot l strip. So I'm just using l strip here and I'm just providing te. So you can see that te has been removed from the left hand side. If I write l strip TE, where we are using small t in place of capital T, you will see technology remains as it is because these two do not match. Now you have to pay attention to this fact that if I am providing a small t over here, the possible combinations would be TE, ET, small e and small t. So from the left side of the string, we don't find either of these strings. Right, we don't find either of these strings, so nothing will be removed. To be able to be removed, we should have those combinations. Let us try L strip ET, small e, sorry, E and capital T. So you can still see that TE has been removed because we will still be getting Even if we are using ET here, the combinations are ET, TE, capital T and small e. So TE is found, a match is found from here, hence it is removed. So next is, let us try to figure out something like I am just trying to write here L strip E. So if I just write L strip E, nothing will be removed because E is not there towards the left side of the string. The string starts from T, right? Even over here, the string, you can see, even if we are writing TE, small te, the left side starts from T. So this function doesn't get any combination on the left side. It doesn't get capital T on the left side. It doesn't get small e on the left, starting from the left side. Yes, a combination of TE it gets. If it is, yes, combination of this also it doesn't get because it is small t. But in the second one, it gets this combination over here. That is the reason why this is stripped off from the string. So if you are taking now, if I am taking here a string dot L strip, say I am taking C, T and E. I have taken C, T and E. So that is also removed. So let's see how it is done. I have taken C, capital T and E. So what are the possible combinations here? One is C, T, E. One is T, E, C. One is T, C, E. One is T, C. One is C, E. Right? One is uh, capital T, C and E. These are the possible combinations. So you can find that we find TEC in the beginning. That is, this match is found. So it is removed from the left side of the string. Same way, R strip also works. So if I'm taking R strip function, it will also work in the very same way. So here also, like we have technology. So if I try to remove GY from the end, so that will be removed. R strip, I'm going to write here uh, Y, O and G. So it finds a combination. You can see OGY is one of the combinations, hence it will be removed from the right side of the string. And if you are using only strip function and YOG, say it finds the combination only on the right side, so it will remove it only from the right side. Now suppose we have a string which is sort of a palindrome like Malayalam, and I'm writing here strip, and let me take any combination, say MA, or I'll take AM. So AM can form, it can take up this AM, this match will also be found and this match will also be found. So you can see that AM is stripped from both the sides of the string. So these are the strip functions where you have to keep in mind the combination of the substring characters which you are trying to remove from both ends of the string. Next is we are going to see one program. So the program is write a Python program that reads a line and prints its statistics like number of uppercase characters, number of lowercase characters, alphabets and digits. So we will be doing this program now. So here we are. So in this program, we are going to see a program, we are going to write a program which will print the statistics, that is number of uppercase characters, the capital letters, number of lowercase characters, number of alphabets and number of digits. So let us first figure out certain things. Over here you can see we have digits, we have alphabets, and uppercase and lowercase characters are also alphabets only. So we need to first figure out, now if any character is an alphabet, it will definitely be either uppercase or a lowercase character. So how are we going to decide this? So let us first draw a flowchart and see how we can do this. So start, and first we will be reading a string from the user. Read a string, and I'm naming the string as a string. Now for every character of the string, so we will be taking every character of the string. Is there at least one character in the string? So if there is, even if there is one character in the string, we will move to the next part where we will be fetching one character. So we will fetch one character, fetch a character, and let me name it as ch, and we will check whether this character is an alphabet or not. So we will first check ch is an alphabet. If this is yes, that means we have to count the number of alphabets. So we are simply going to count, or we will be just writing here. This is a general structure, general flowchart which I am creating. When I write the pseudocode, it would be much clearer. So this is, we are counting the alphabet, and because it is an alphabet, we can also check whether it is uppercase or lowercase. So we will be again checking ch is uppercase. If that is yes, then we will again count number of uppercase characters, count uppercase characters, right? And if it is no, that means it is still an alphabet, and we will be counting the number of lowercase characters. So we'll be doing that, and once we have completed this, okay, we will be moving forward. So if it is not an alphabet, that means it is a digit or a special symbol. So we will be moving to the next part, and here we will be checking is ch is a digit, because we have to specifically count digits now. So if it is yes, count digits, and if it is no, we are not going to do anything over here. We will be just incrementing the we'll, we'll be just moving to the next part. So let us see where our next part falls. So already we are checking for each character, so we will be just moving to the next part from here. That is, let us take an exit point from this side, that is no. One second. I'll not be taking exit point from here, rather I will be moving back to the previous one. So if this work is done for one character, again it is going to go to the next character and join this also over here. So it will go back, and if it is no, then we will simply be coming out of it. And here we will be printing all of them. Print all, uppercase, lowercase, okay, digits, alphabets, everything we need to print, and we will be stopping over here. And if it is no here, this, if it is no, then we will be simply moving on to the next part. So we will be joining it from. This is a general flowchart. Usually we don't create flowcharts for such problems. Rather, we will just see the pseudocode of it. So I will be opening a new document and let me save it. So we'll name it as count upper, lower, alpha and digit. So we will be writing the pseudocode now. So step 1 is start. Step 2 is we are going to just write the second step. Read a string from the user and let me name it as a string. Third one is set upper, low, alpha and dig, that is digit, all to 0. These will be used for counting each of the characters. So we have set them as 0. Now we will be writing if there are still characters, sorry, if there is characters left in the string, that is even if there is one character in the string, go to step 5. Otherwise go to step X. We don't know what is in X. So in step 5 it will be fetch the first or next character. So we fetch the first or the next character, and now from here we are going to just type, we are going to check if, and let this character be ch, and we will be writing here if ch is an alphabet, or because we will be using a string function, so we are just writing it like this. If ch is an alphabet, then we will write go to step 7. Otherwise go to step Y. So now what is in step 7? We will be writing here if it is an alphabet. So I'll write alf, we'll write compute alf equals alf plus 1. That is count the number of alphabets. And if suppose it is not an alphabet, we will be checking for whether, now because it is an alphabet, we will also check if ch is an uppercase alphabet, go to step 8. Otherwise go to step Z. So sorry, we will not go to step 8, instead we will be going to step 9. Otherwise go to step Z, and here it is compute up equals up plus 1. This is for counting the number of uppercase alphabets. And if suppose it is not, so we are going to simply write here compute low equals low plus 1. In case it is not an uppercase alphabet, then we will be going to step 10. So here we have gone to step 10 in that case, or what we will do is we'll make step 10 as something else. Go to step Z, we will write over here, and this is going to be our step 11. And here we are going to write here go to step 11. So we went to step 11 after this, and after computing up it will simply skip the, it will not execute the 11th step, it will be going to any other step. So we will see what step is going, it's going to be. So we can see if ch is an alphabet, then we have to go to step 7, and hence then we will also check whether it is an uppercase character or not. If it is uppercase, we will increment up, and we will just go to the next step, and if it is not an uppercase character, we'll simply go to step 11. And after this we have to check if it is not an alphabet, then we will be going to some other step, and that step is going to be step 12. So we will be writing here, go to step 12. So here we are at step 12, and we are going to check if CH is a digit. Go to step 13. Otherwise, go to step Y we will write, because we have removed Y and Z from there, so we can use them. So in step 13 we will be writing digit, compute digit equals digit plus 1. And step 14 is going to be, that is if it is not a digit. Now it is what we have just written, that otherwise go to step Y. So now we will be simply point to the next character in a string. So we'll simply write this. So here also if it is not complying, so we will simply be going to step 14. That is, if the character is not a digit also, then we will simply go to the next iteration of the string. And hence when it goes to the next point, we will simply write go to step 4. That is, it will again loop back to step 4 and start with the next process. And here after that, step number 16, we are going to print all the values. So we will simply write here go to step 16, and here it will be print all the values up, low, alph and digit, and 17th will be stop. So this is our pseudocode. Now that our pseudocode is done, we'll start with the program. So first is reading a string. So we will write a string equals input, enter a string, and we'll write up, low, alph and dig is equals to 0. We can either write it this way also, or we can simply write up equals, low equals, alph equals, dig equals 0. So I have assigned 0 to all of them. Now for ch in a string, that is step number 4 above, that is we are fetching each character from the string one by one if ch dot is alpha. So we have the step which we want to check, that is step number 6, if ch is an alphabet. So we will be using is alpha function over here. If it is an alphabet, then alph plus equal to 1, and within this again we will check if ch dot is upper, to check whether it is an uppercase or not, because only alphabets can be upper or lowercase. So we will write up plus equals to 1, else low plus equals to 1, because it is quite obvious that if an alphabet is, only alphabets can be upper or lowercase. So if alphabet is not uppercase, it will generally definitely be lowercase. Come back, L if ch is digit. If it is a digit, then dig plus equal to 1. And we are not going to write else is not compulsory over here, we can skip that if we want, and we'll simply come out of the for loop and print number of uppercase alphabets, or we'll start it like this, number of alphabets, and it will be alph, number of uppercase alphabets, it will be up. Next is number of lowercase alphabets, it will be low, and finally number of digits, that will be dig. Let's check the program. So we'll enter a string here, So you can see I had just typed a string where we have 47 alphabets, one uppercase alphabet here, that is T, and number of lowercase alphabets are 46, that is one less than 47, and four digits are there. So this is how we can easily create it, create a program. So we have, you can see that we have applied all the different functions. We have applied is alpha function, is upper function. So these functions work on single characters also, and multiple characters as well. Students, with this I end today's class. Next we will be seeing some more programs, and most probably we will now start with lists. Thank you.